Okay, welcome to ASK Morgan Sports. This morning we are here. Uh, Myself with Hafiz. Baba, what's up?
Yes.
Okay, so today we are here to give you exclusives from NBA, tennis as well. Maybe if time will permit us, we will do a bit of Formula One before we go. Hafiz, how are things going?
Charlie, we're doing inside. Busy sports weeks. It's been a couple of events to deal with as a sports fan. From Charlie, the very hectic, controversial World Cup to Wimbledon, Belgian Grand Prix. Then you have NBA free agency also as well, and then transfer markets. Yeah, so Charlie, it's been busy.
Okay, okay. Which team in the NBA do you support?
Uh, the funny thing about my NBA loyalty is I'm actually a player fanatic than a franchise fan. So maybe I'm a LeBron James fan.
Okay, I am also a Steph Curry fan, so yeah.
I'm Team LeBron James.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Baby, Steph Curry, but could be I'm always there. So yeah.
It's fair. NBA, we just like the LeBron James out and out, like the greatest player of all time, LeBron James.
It's
I'm a
just,
fan.
so now MJ, they say now you've surpassed MJ.
MJ is yesterday's story, bro. Like LeBron is today's.
The schedule for the NBA upcoming season hasn't been released. We are all wondering when they are going to release it. Why it hasn't been released so far? Fans, teams, players, in fact, everybody connected to the NBA game is worried. Tell us what is happening.
So, it's a common narrative that the National Basketball Association, which is NBA, is player dependent as against the NFL,
Okay.
which is more like franchise dependent. So NFL is built on the culture of teams. It's always a city versus another city and all those stuff, like the culture behind when New York is playing, when Philadelphia is playing, all those stuff. Yeah. Then unfortunately for the NBA, it's built around stars. So we just asked ourselves who we are supporting and we just
Sharp.
mentioned players.
Sharp.
So that's what in retrospect it means for the NBA. So 2 or 3 days ago, I think LeBron on the podcast he did like a live fans studio session where Adam Silver and the rest of the big men, NBA big men came. LeBron himself sat with one of the guys, and then I think Adam Silver had a part to say, and he was more like crying. They are begging LeBron James right now because as the commissioner of the NBA, you are getting call from your broadcasting partnerships. The big guys like Disney is calling you, NBC is calling you. We need your schedule to do our stuff, like to know what we are doing when. And marketing partners are also calling. What are you doing, Mr. Commissioner? But then deep down, these people are calling because regardless, they would come back for revenue at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The NBA is like a multi-billion company.
Yeah.
And all the numbers behind the NBA is actually centered on revenue based on players, the revenue that players are able to drive. And you cannot go ahead and do an NBA schedule where you have the opening day schedule, you have the big matchups, the rivalry
Yeah.
week, you have
The Christmas
day, NBA games.
Yeah.
All these things cannot be done without knowing where LeBron James is playing next year.
Okay.
So the NBA is currently at a pause against its regular schedule because of a 41-year-old man who has yet to make his decision. And we were expecting that 2 or 3 days ago he would say something when he did his open fan talk session. But then surprisingly, LeBron James is telling us, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. So, guys, like your pressure is not even moving me. So, the NBA, as we said, is currently at a pause because we don't know where LeBron James is going. And as a big market driver as he is, without him, you cannot run schedules. So, we would have to wait for LeBron James before an NBA schedule comes out. Or maybe you and I would not know, but LeBron could probably call Adam Silver and tell him, Adam, here's where I'm going to. Go ahead
So
with
go
your
ahead with
schedules,
your
but
schedule with
I'm
this
not
in
announcing
mind.
yet.
Okay.
So that's what it is right
Okay.
now. And
Okay.
ideally, I mean, when we talk about where LeBron James is going, I think a couple of options come to mind.
I was just about to ask,
All right.
what are the options? What are the offers he has received?
I think Miami comes to mind, Golden State come to mind, Philly comes to mind, and Cleveland comes to mind. These are the four I've heard that are, I mean, top rated. Anthony Davis and the other folks like Anthony Edwards are all called LeBron, Minnesota, wherever. But the top four are what we've listed. And ideally, if LeBron wants a championship right now, I think Miami is the best option.
Why are you picking Miami over all of these ones?
Miami being the best option is one. There is a fairy tale story. It's more like LeBron is coming back to South Beach, where the whole championship culture started. He first won his championship there, so coming back there to wrap it all up on this particular very competitive roster, because you have Bam Adebayo and Giannis and everyone else. Forget everyone else. You have Bam Adebayo and Giannis. The defensive burden on LeBron James is absolutely done with. I mean, last year, LeBron didn't do much of the scoring, but the scoring he did were actually very casual ones. He was just scoring on transition. I think he led the league in transition scoring or something like that. And if you are scoring in transition, meaning when we are defending, you are at the top of the arc.
Okay.
You are not really defending.
Yeah, you are not really defending.
So when we get the ball, you run first. So I think last year he didn't do so much defending, which helped him preserve his body for the playoffs, which he had a very spectacular one, made up for the Lakers moving away from the Houston Rockets in the first round when his leading player wasn't. His top two guys weren't available. So yeah, Miami is the ideal option for me. Cleveland is also a folklore. I mean, it will be one of those to look back into on the compendium and think, oh, LeBron actually finished his career in Cleveland, where it all began. After he had went to Miami, won in Miami, came back to Cleveland, delivered their first championship in 50 years, then went ahead to Lakers, delivered their 2020 championship, and now after a fairy tale story of delivering everywhere he goes, he's coming back home to end it all. I mean, it's a good seller.
That's also a good story.
Exactly. So Cleveland is also nice. I mean, they have a decent roster, and I think the difference between them and winning a championship or probably going very deeper than expected in the playoffs is a LeBron James type of player, a player who has won it. James Harden has gone deep in the playoffs, but he hasn't won it. So for me, I don't think he's the breakthrough leader. LeBron James might be the differential, yeah, and their culture has to change. These kids, they are talented, but this current crop of Cavs players, they are talented, but there is a whole lot of work to do on them. And then fast forward, I think Golden State might probably...
But still on Cleve, so you see, you are saying that they are a good team, but they don't have the winning mentality. Yeah. But that is what LeBron is built with. That is the impact he's supposed to have on the dressing room.
Exactly. That's why I say he might be the differential.
He's a serial winner.
The thing about talents that we've seen in NBA that are not willing to win is that sometimes you cannot change that, regardless of who you bring next to them. We have stories in the NBA where superstars have to get some players shipped out. LeBron in Lakers, early days. Brandon Ingram and those guys, he wanted them off the roster because he wanted to win.
Yeah.
And he has a short window. It's not time to build the mentality. It's like, when I join the bus, are you ready? It's about ready now. So LeBron cannot wait so much for those guys to catch up within years. His clock is just running out. So I think for Cleveland, that's it. Mobley, James Harden, I mean, they have a solid roster. So uh, these guys, they can work on them, but you never know whether they are ready to change. They are ready to do the extra work when it comes to the playoffs. And you move quickly to Golden State.
Golden State Warriors.
It might probably be the best seller for marketing reasons. You know, Rich Paul recently said if LeBron goes to Golden State, they are going to have like over 60 nationally televised game, which is far-fetched though. But just look at it. When it was Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they were probably on a 30-game national broadcast
Yeah.
out of the 82 games.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, LeBron was on the Cavs, and you know definitely LeBron is attracting about 30
Yeah.
nationally broadcasted games. So if you add them, you're talking
If you
60.
add, yeah, if
But
you
NBA
add
wouldn't do that, I know, right? But then, fair enough, like
50,
you
45.
have two superstars, like 40. You are talking about ideally 40. You have two generational superstars, probably have been fighting against each other for their whole life, bro. Like it's a crazy story. Everyone you ask about NBA is either going to tell you about LeBron, Curry, you get it, and then they are going to reunite. Forget the marketing that comes. Like these are two big brands. It's crazy, and just think about Steph Curry not having to worry about holding the ball because he already has an orchestrator. I mean, just trace back to Paris Olympics. We all saw it. LeBron running offense, Steph just casually running around and
Yes.
being fed.
Yes.
I mean, they will feed homes.
Yes.
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 It's crazy.
Yes.
LeBron in Golden State. I mean, I want to see that. And Steph is actually trying his best to recruit LeBron. Every time he's been asked, he has pitched to LeBron. So I don't know how it goes, but it's going to be a fairy tale story also. But whether it yields a championship, I think the Miami option has a better one.
But
Philly casually.
but for marketing reasons, I don't think the NBA would allow, would want to see LeBron
we have the
play with
CBA.
Steph because
we have the CBA.
the competition. They I think they profiteer from the competition. You understand?
So I think to counter what you said, what makes that actually legit is the NBA recently has been kind of approaching this stage where we are doing the old versus the young. So
Yeah.
I mean, when they went to the Olympics, it was two groups. It was the youngins and the old guys, the LeBrons and the rest. And then back to NBA, you could see there are teams that depend on old superstars. KD, we have teams depending on Golden State. We have Golden State depending on Steph Curry. We have LeBron was not solely the dependent factor when it comes to Lakers last season, but then he took an entire playoff, game in his hands. I mean, an entire round in his hands and delivered as well. So it's approaching that point, and we are having like a whole lot of superstars coming up. The Lucas, we have Anthony Edwards. We have these guys. Jam Morant has been shaped and all those. So it's more like old versus new. So it's normal for that to happen, and CBA details would be checked. I mean, the collective bargaining agreements between NBA and the players. I think when it comes to the markets cap and all those salaries, those stuff would be checked very well. And it's actually a fit. LeBron is ready to drop his salary. I mean, to just the vet standard, and he's good to go on a lot of rosters. So yes, basically that. And the Philly option, I mean, not much to talk about. It's just it's a good fit. You have Embiid, you have Tyrese, a decent roster around them, and then you have LeBron. These three guys are kind of something to look out for when it comes to a playoffs run. So I think that one is also suited. These four teams are just legit suits, basically.
So if you were LeBron, which one would you choose?
For what I want for LeBron right now, I think Miami would be an easier way out. Like it would probably be the best way out. You have a route to championship, and then you also have like the stardom and a fairy tale story as well. So if you are getting like all these sticks just shot at in one move, I'm picking that one.
Okay, but do you think we have an Olympic Games ahead? We have an Olympic Games ahead, maybe Next year, the preparation for Olympic games will begin. Do you think LeBron would want to give us uh, his last dance on the Olympic? Himself and
I think
Kerry.
Paris was his last. I think Paris was his last. Yeah, yeah, and that was like a great show. That was some just fictional stuff to write home about with him and Kerry and the OGs, KD and yeah, Anthony Davis. I mean, something nice to write home about. Tyrese Haliburton just enjoyed being there because these guys are ahead of him by according to the standards he has to be there, but he cannot play ahead of these guys. So it's just like fine. You had Jason Tatum, like the roster was crazy. It was just crazy, but LeBron, I think that was the last. We are not seeing him in another Olympics. Father time.
Okay. What about Steph?
Steph, you don't know. You don't really know. I mean, that was his first Olympics, so you don't know if he wants more.
I see. Quickly, we just finished with Wimbledon.
Yeah, yeah.
We just finished with Wimbledon. We had a crazy final. I think it was Sinner and then Zverev, Alexander Zverev. What do you think about
We're
the?
building. Yeah. So, I mean, the whole tennis season has been somewhat away from expectation. When I say away from expectation, I mean everyone expects with the way the ATP, the Men's Association is going,
Mhm.
everyone is expecting Sinner Alcaraz finals every Grand Slam. I mean, the way it's going because these two guys are ahead of everyone. The difference between them, I mean, there is a huge standard deviation between them and the rest of the the
Other
tennis
players
association. So, unfortunately for us, before Roland Garros, Alcaraz
was injured.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we had a Roland Garros where Alcaraz didn't participate,
Yeah.
and then in round 1 or 2, I think Fonseca just shocked the world. I think that is the biggest upset in this year's
Yes.
entire sports.
Season.
Like the entire season of sports this year, that was the biggest upset. In round 1 or round 2, if I'm mistaken, Fonseca tops how do you call him? Yannick Sinner.
Yannick Sinner.
So we had a Roland Garros that was going
What are the top
without
two best
these
players?
top guys. You get, and then we get to this thing. I think round 3 or 4. It's actually no. I think Fonseca topped Djokovic.
Mhm.
Fonseca actually defeated Djokovic.
Djokovic,
I think it was Cerundolo. It was Cerundolo that cut your man Sinner. So you have an ATP Grand Slam happening, and then there is no top 2. And beyond that,
The legend is also
Djokovic
out.
with the highest odds to winning is out by round 3 or so. So just crazy stuff. And then we went to finals, and it was Alexander Zverev. And I always say this. There is this quote that always hits my mind that a moving man will one day meet his luck, and that is Alexander Zverev. This guy broke
Hard
through.
work.
This guy broke through. I mean, somewhere around 2010, like I mean the tens, somewhere 16 or so.
Yeah.
He broke through in around 2016, and then it has always been when Rafael Nadal,
Djokovic,
Djokovic, and Roger Federer are off the charts. We are going
It's
to talk
always
about
there.
Alexander Zverev, Daniel Medvedev, Dominic Thiem, and then probably how do you call him? Stefano Tsitsipas.
Yeah, Stefano
These guys,
Tsitsipas.
these guys were supposed to take over from the Djokovic Federer generation, and then suddenly there was a kid called
Alcaraz.
because Alcaraz actually took the leap before Sinner.
Before
I remember Sinner was that promising guy who would casually win against a top 3 player and then lose to a lower ranked player.
ranked player.
It was, I think, 2022 from China in 2022 that Sinner said, not again. And since then, the guy hasn't let us sleep, bro.
He's been
Or Djokovic,
consistent.
I said, hey, Charlie. So yeah, Wimbledon was, I mean, it was fun to see Alexander Zverev finally lift Grand Slam for what he has done in this and his illustrious hardworking tennis career,
Yeah.
and finally being
Yeah.
rewarded with a Grand Slam, which was Roland Garros. And then fast forward, the odds were good for him at this thing, Wimbledon. We came to Wimbledon. Sinner had a slow Wimbledon. I mean, the very first game he played, I think he had to go five sets, which was crazy, round one.
Yeah.
And then since then he
They'll
didn't
wear
drop a
you
set,
out.
but it was I mean, just like you could see he was not really sinner like not top tier. And then finally against Djokovic, when Djokovic had played like that 5 hour 15 minutes game with Felix Auger-Aliassime, which was crazy, like an old man standing there going 5 hours with a youngin and coming out at top. It would definitely wear him out,
Yeah, it'll
which
wear him out.
saw him against Yannick Sinner
Yeah.
next, which was just like I mean, it was
A
just a
walkover.
team side. It was a team side.
Walkover.
Yeah,
Walkover.
walkover game. So then we have Wimbledon winner as Yannick Sinner, who won coming down from one set down against
Alexander
Zverev.
Zverev. Yeah.
And then now
That comeback was great. That comeback was great. That game was
I always say
solid.
I always say when
I think
it
it
comes
was a
to
3-hour thriller.
I always say when it comes to Zverev, it's two things. You either win him or he wins it for you.
Yeah.
Unforced errors are like just something Zverev was born with. So sometimes when you see Zverev in a big matchup, you could only think if only Zverev could win against himself, he has a chance. So he has always been his own opponent first before other opponents. So quickly we go into US Open. I mean,
Yes, we
US
are
Open,
preparing for. But before we go into US Open,
yeah,
we were hoping to see the union of the Williams sisters on the doubles turf at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, injury came in.
The
Baba.
injury came in. The injury came in, and I think Serena paired with Victoria Mboku, right?
Yeah.
They had a great first win, and then by the next game, Victoria Mboku has also had also injured herself. Yeah, so I think it's just like sports is cruel. It always doesn't have like that very ceremonial ending that we always expect for our superstars. But then Serena is making a whole lot of backlash for coming back to the game. But people who haven't participated in sports, built their entire life on being sports players, athletes, wouldn't understand what it means to leave the game and still think you have a little in you. Djokovic recently said we should just appreciate her being back on the floor, trying to give us what we missed, Serena on court. And I mean, Serena is always like a must see. So we are glad we get to see her again. I mean, two kids and coming back,
Yeah, 2
playing
kids,
professionally,
injuries.
it's a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Serena story is just
She's a definition of resilience.
too much of it. Yeah. So it's just like that's with our sports. Not always does it afford us the very
Flamboyant ending.
exactly. So basically that was it for the Serena issue, and then quickly we are walking into US
Open.
I think she might enter US Open.
Yes, I want to see her.
Yeah. But we have Cincinnati to deal with before US Open. And I know
Yeah, I'm told Alcaraz is returning to Cincinnati.
exactly.
Yeah.
Alcaraz returns from injury at Cincy. And I think he's the defending champion actually at Cincinnati. So we look forward to seeing what it would be. We've seen Cincinnati giving us heads up on what happens in the US Open. Senna won it 2024. He wins US Open. 2025, I think he killed himself. The court was so fast for him. He lost to Alcaraz quite easily than as I expected. Yeah, and I mean they spread the Grand Slam between themselves last year. Australia and Wimbledon for Senna, and then Roland Garros, which quite unfortunately after Senna leading 2-up, Alcaraz did a comeback on him. Crazy, very crazy. And then Alcaraz took Roland Garros and then US Open.
Yeah.
The US Open is the slam to end the season.
Yes.
So when you win the US Open, you live with us in our memories for
a very long time.
Until maybe the championship and then end of year championship comes to play, which it's never like a Grand Slam though, but I mean it's just behind the Masters 1000, just above the Masters 1000, but a tier behind the Grand Slam, although it's the final championship for the season. So yeah,
What are your expectations for the US Open?
expectations for US Open. I mean, I expect my goat to just as always reach the semis because it's just two guys who know how to play.
Djokovic.
Yeah, just as always to reach the semifinals. And
Well,
then,
my goat has always been Nadal anyway. My
I
goat has
mean,
always been Nadal.
I mean, Nadal
Anyway.
Nadal wouldn't compare to him. He knows, like they all know. But they at the end of the day, you know, there are two guys that can bully Djokovic. He had a chance
Yeah.
where he topped this thing. He topped Senna this year at Australian Open, and I think Senna has yet to lose this thing. Another game apart from that
Apart from
game
that game.
against Serendolo. Yeah. So basically that's the expectations. It's going to be Alcaraz Senna finals. But the only thing you are probably looking at is Alcaraz fit enough after this injury? But Cincinnati will tell us more about his fitness than
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens
Yeah.
in Cincinnati.
Yeah. All right. At this point, we will call it a wrap. It has been myself, ASK Morgan, and my panelist is Master Hafiz, the boy from Majima. The man from Majima. He's a man, but he always says he's the boy from Majima. Thank you very much, Hafiz. It's been great having you here. Interesting conversation on NBA and tennis. We will come back to you again to offer you more exciting conversations like this one. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.